Okay, here we go. We're live from Fly on the Wall Productions, North Main Street, Barrie, 100% organic, always live, never edited. We are, most of the time, I would say, Raylene, real, raw, relevant, relatable, and sometimes, possibly, even responsible.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Good morning.
We try to be.
Yesterday morning with you and Paul Brody was, I don't know, it was interesting. I felt when I walked away from the podcast yesterday, I felt like just that I got like almost like I heard a different side of you. Like we talk about raw, that you just seemed to, like, yesterday kind of come out of your shell a little bit and say, hey, here I am. This is it. This is transparency. And if you like it, great. If you don't, please politely kiss my ass. And I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked that.
You'll probably see more of it.
But doesn't the world need more people to be just real?
Yes, I'm tired of it.
We just say what it is. Mm-hmm. And like Paul said yesterday, it's like, the problem with the world is we want everyone to be completely aligned with our way of thinking, whether it's our opinions and our feelings about this or that, or politically or otherwise. And if we don't,
then we're going to be asshole.
Then we're going to be an asshole.
And that's
to
not
others.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's not how I was raised. And
exactly. No. You will see, if you're looking at your screen right now, an empty chair right next to Raylene. That chair has a reserved sign on it that says Thomas Lauzon. And he is due in the building here any minute now. And
yes.
It's going to be
a quickie.
It's going to be a quickie. So
he's busy. It's tax season.
Right. So yeah. we could say, because you just said it, that you had a quickie with Thom Lauzon.
I couldn't.
You said it. I didn't say it. You did.
Too funny.
Good morning, Rebecca Smeedy. Glenn Brummer is on. We have Michael over on YouTube right now. Heather Slayton is laughing already. See, we're starting out people's day with a little bit of laughter.
There's nothing wrong with quickies. I'm just telling you.
No. My hairdresser said to me the other day, and she almost cut me because I was laughing so hard. She said, I did 25 guys in one day. I'm not gonna say.
And then she left you the cutest little note on the door.
I know.
Yeah.
I think she's flirting with me.
I think she may be too.
Not that, I would say who it is, Diane over at Off the Top. But what a funny lady. Oh, yeah, my God.
She's a good gal. Yeah.
So let's first off talk about this weather, because Roger Hill is on it. He just sent me an email saying, call me. I'm going to try to call him real fast here. But,
okay.
He is basically saying that we've got a pretty good storm coming, and it's out west, and it's moving our way, and it's moving quickly.
Is it now going to affect the entire state? Do we know?
I'm going to go with yes, but let's call Raj and see if he answers this morning. And
are you going to say it's JD the podcast bitch?
God. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Let's see if we can get Roger.
Hello.
There he is. Roger Hill, live on Aired Out. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
Ooh, it's coming. It's a big one. Do tell. Is it, Raylene's asking, is it going to impact all of Vermont?
Yeah, definitely it's going to impact all of Vermont with snow in the probably northern and central areas primarily, and then unfortunately they'll start out as snow in southern parts of Vermont, like southern four counties, and then they'll see kind of a change over to a mix. So the mixed precipitation certainly is going to cut back on the snowfall totals. And so down there, you're looking at probably 6 to 8 inches, whereas up in our neck of the woods, and I would say probably if you drew a line roughly Addison County east to about Orange County, and then points north, you're looking at generally 6 to 12 inches, maybe even upping that just a little bit, 8 to 13, something like that. If we were to get, by the way, we should get some jackpot totals in our backyard here in north central Vermont, Berry Montpelier area, the adjacent Green Mountains. So it's going to come down pretty hot and heavy tonight at the rate of greater than a half inch per hour. And occasionally exceeding 1 inch per hour. And the best chances for that would be the heaviest stuff probably late this evening, maybe 10, 10:30, 11, and then continuing into the overnight period before it starts to wind down during the mid-morning hours tomorrow. And then we're in for kind of a little bit of glazing, not much, but a little bit of sleet on top of it. So it definitely will put a crust on what will have fallen. And the bulk of the snow will fall kind of dry at first for the majority of the heaviest snowfall, and then it gets consecutively more wet. And the wetter snowfall will start to work in after about 4 or 5 in the morning overnight tonight, and then continuing, and that's when we'll start to see things wind down and then produce a little bit of a mix of precipitation types. So a little bit of that gets about as far north as the Berry Montpelier area, but it stays primarily pristine, all snow. I would say if you drew a line, Chittenden County, say Burlington, right across to St. Johnsbury, and then points north, where north central Vermont, parts of Berry Montpelier area, you're looking at probably just a little mix at times on Thursday. Even though temperatures at the surface will stay well below freezing, it's what happens, of course, aloft, and it's those temperatures aloft. There's a little bit of warm air, a little bit too much warm air gets pushed in, and we've seen so many of these storms this winter like that. Well, this one still has that kind of signature, sort of in between two areas of low pressure passing on through. And I apologize in the background. I got a puppy, and she's very active right now.
Oh no, that's great, boy. You get your hands full. Rach, is this a winter storm watch or a warning yet?
We got a warning now. We've had a watch. Weather Service put out a watch a couple of days ago, and so typically what you do is you start out with a watch. And then when everything's determined, things are looking a lot tighter, the modeling is in good agreement, you put out a warning. And indeed, that's what we have going on for north central Vermont, northeast Kingdom, and we have winter weather advisories in the lower valleys for the southern counties, where they're not going to see nearly as much snow. And usually that line that determines whether it's a winter weather advisory versus a winter storm warning is about 6 to 7 inches. And, of course, the Albany office issues Bennington and Windham County, and then, of course, Burlington for the rest of the state.
All right. So, Roger, when's the blue sky going to come back? What's the backside of this? Saturday? Friday? Saturday?
Little bits and pieces of sunshine will probably break out on Friday. And then we have another couple systems that are going to work on in. So there'll probably be a little bit of morning sun on Saturday, but colder temperatures on the backside of this system, and we're going to see temperatures finally below normal and staying that way for the next several days.
All right, Roger, we appreciate your time so much. Good luck here over the next 24, 48 especially. You
got it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Roger Hill, our meteorologist right here in the North Country, right here in Vermont. Worcester. WeatheringHeights.com is his page to follow details on the storm. Thom Lauzon has just stumbled on into the studio. Good morning, pal. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm well, but I know that you're tight on time this morning. But I want to give you a big heads up and give you a huge warning here. Okay.
Huge warning.
Huge.
Oh gosh.
Huge.
Raylene has only had 1 cup of coffee this morning, okay, as opposed to the usual 15. So please.
Can we switch seats?
3, maybe 4.
Can I sit over there?
Thom, don't piss her off this morning, okay? It's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for you.
You should probably have more fear than Thom.
Frankly, it's not going to be good for the city. Just saying.
So you just asked me to go 30 minutes without pissing somebody off. I mean, really?
Is that possible?
I mean,
Thom, tell us.
Well, my personal best is 12 minutes.
I hope you're better than I am.
Here, we're going for the record here today, folks.
Tell us about last night. I know there's a lot of chat about Prospect Heights.
Yeah, well, I mean, not at the council meeting, but I certainly brought it up during Roundtable. I'm excited. I mean, that project is very exciting. Hats off to BADC for spearheading that. We'll talk about BADC and how I support them. We'll talk about that in a bit. But, this particular project, so last week, Nicholas and city manager, and I had a sort of a steering meeting, brainstorming session, talking about how to structure it, what it might look like. And so basically, for folks who aren't familiar with the project, it's a 50-lot proposed subdivision up off of Prospect Street, some land currently owned by Fecto family. So we'd create 50 lots. Those lots you could put a single-family home on the lot. You could put a multi-family home on the lot, up to 4 units. So at least 50 lots, at least 50 residential dwellings, but likely more than that. Some folks might choose to build a home with an accessory apartment. It's pretty popular now to have, they're having a child, an older child, or maybe their parents cohabitate with them.
Sure.
And that's pretty popular right now. We
Yes,
see a
it
lot
is.
of people doing that. $12.5 million, it would add conservatively $12.5 million to the grand list.
Okay.
And, we hear a lot of talk about the grand list, people saying we've got to grow the grand list. This is a great opportunity. The property tax revenue, again, conservatively and without taking into account property tax rebates, which don't directly affect the city. That's a state program. So to the city, fully built out, it would be around $500,000 a year in property tax revenue, education and municipal, obviously, total. So pretty exciting. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and especially now when, there is no inventory. People are still looking for homes.
Yeah. And and listen, not to paddle against the stream here, but there is a lot of land up there. This is like in the vicinity, kind of behind the Froggy Studios up in the end of Jake Street, and to the east and southeast.
But remember, not like sometimes we'll all look at a tract of land and we'll say, boy, that's a huge tract of land. Why can't you put 200 homes up there? Well, not all land is developable. For example, if there's wetlands, you can't develop that. So, this is a modest development. Would it accommodate more homes? It would. If you wanted to expand the project, they're starting with 50. And honestly, I think it's a reasonable development. Infrastructure costs are daunting, about $4.5 million for the infrastructure, the roadways, the water, the sewer, the utilities. But the BADC has been working diligently on this. It has been labeled a priority project by the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission, and that is largely due to their efforts. And what that means when it's labeled a priority project, there are 10, and basically the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission presents that to the Agency of Commerce and Community Development and says, we have reviewed proposed projects in Central Vermont. We're giving you our top 10 so that as you consider funding, funding opportunities, you can consider these 10 projects. So BADC, MA, they have just done a great job. They're working diligently. They're going to present this project to the Northern Borders Commission for a grant to partially fund the infrastructure. And, I just can't say enough about the work that BADC is doing here in Barre. And remember, JD, this is coming off, they recently, and there were others, there were city staff that worked on them with this project, but they recently secured $6.5 million in earmarks from Senator Sanders.
Right.
Part of that money is for the transmission line that runs from the reservoir down Route 302 and into the city, and there's a particular
Way
trestle.
overdue. Way overdue.
Well, it's one of those deals where, God bless our trestle, because it hasn't failed yet. But, I mean, we were talking about that when I was mayor, and it's just such an expensive project. It was one of those projects where it's just so daunting you don't know where to start.
Right.
Yeah, but what you do know is that the city does not have the resources to allocate specifically to that project,
Yes.
even though probably we should have 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But no one has, and now BADC has taken that one off our list. I couldn't be more thankful to them and to Senator Sanders and to everyone on the city team who worked on that application.
Yeah. And that's a water line that's 100 years old, right?
Yeah. It's I don't want to say it's as old as a reservoir, but it's right up there. It doesn't owe anybody anything.
CCC,
yeah,
though,
I mean,
right?
I'd liken it to when we did the Main Street reconstruction project. I mean, we knew that we had these. In this case, it was wastewater when we did Main Street. And Main Street started out as an infrastructure project. We knew we had a waste line that was failing, and we knew that if the waste line failed in a period of about 2 hours, every basement downtown would fill with raw sewage. We knew that.
Of course.
But again, such an expensive, daunting project that, until we were finally able to secure funding, starting with the Douglas administration and went that far back, we simply weren't able to address it. So this addresses a huge need in the city, that the money for the transmission line. And, again, looking at the auditorium project, if you look at the potential there, you were there for the event this past weekend. You had a great time. A lot of people do. It's relatively easy to have those types of events in the wintertime at the auditorium.
Sure.
Try doing it in July.
I have.
He has.
I have.
How many pounds did you lose?
Yeah,
Well,
lost a few.
So,
the amazing thing
so
is
the
that
upgrades that we're going to do to the auditorium, if you look around
Yeah.
central Vermont, I mean, the auditorium is a fantastic
Sure it
venue
is.
in terms of space.
Yes.
In terms of space, how many, proximity, parking, how many people it can hold, it's probably top 3 in central Vermont.
Yeah.
But then when you start talking about infrastructure, facilities, all of a sudden it drops to 5, drops to 7, drops
Sure.
to 15,
Sure.
drops to 30.
Sure.
So, having the funds from that congressional earmark because of BADC's efforts and the efforts of our staff, that's huge. That facility will be utilized 365.
You are a big proponent of BADC. You're always talking about
BADC
that.
and the partnership.
Yeah, always.
Because,
you are.
when you're closer, look, I do business here. Obviously, at this time of year, I'm at the firm, 14 hours a day. But then the rest of the time, and that's already started, I'm talking with young entrepreneurs, talking with business people, talking about people who want to come and do business here in Barrie. And believe me, there are a lot of them. So I see the results of those efforts every day. And we're going to have that, the city of Barrie can weigh in. There's an article on the ballot this year about giving them additional money for advertising. And there are those who don't feel that that's necessary. I couldn't disagree more with them. It's sort of funny. People will look and they'll say, well, what are the tangible results? What have you done? Show me. And a lot of times, a lot of it is anecdotal. It's difficult. Now, I ask when people come and they talk to me and they say, hey, we want to relocate a business to Barrie, sometimes they're talking to me as a CPA, sometimes they're talking to me as a developer. And I always ask them, have you heard of the partnership? Have you heard of BADC? Yes, I've seen your ads. That's part of what made me want to come here.
Yeah.
Or they'll say things like, I know Pete Coleman, I know Mary Jane Magnan, but it's always that connection, and it works. It is working in Barrie. And it's sort of like, there are those in the council who scream about the grand list. We have to increase the grand list, have to increase the grand list. Well, what if I held them to the same standard? What if I said, because our grand list has actually gone down this year, what if I looked at them and said, you're ineffective? Well, they look at me and they say, well, I'm working on it. It's like, okay. And you know what, JD? I'm not being critical. I trust they're working on it. But there are some things that take time. You know, everyone knows that an effective advertising campaign, yeah, we all love the Super Bowl ads, but an effective advertising campaign takes time. You don't put one advertisement, and you know this because you're in the media business, you don't put one ad on the radio or one ad on television, and all of a sudden you're an overnight sensation and you're number one in your marketplace. You know, it's called an advertising campaign, not an advertising one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Which we just did with the
Yeah,
town of
so-
Berlin.
yeah,
We're
so
going to be doing a year-long campaign with the town of Berlin.
You know, but again, you want to look at results.
huge.
Yeah.
$6.5 million in infrastructure improvement money that wouldn't have happened without BADC. That is a fact. The advocacy for Prospect Heights when there are no other major housing projects being proposed. So I simply look at that organization, BADC, and the partnership, and I say, you know what? I look at your past successes. I trust you,
Yeah.
and I trust what you're going to do for us in the future.
People know you, Tom, as someone.
Yeah,
who,
unfortunately.
Well, people know you as a guy who kind of wears the pin on his lapel that says, "If you're not growing, you're dying."
Well, unless you're happy not to grow, and some people are.
Who is not sharing the love and respect for BADC as you?
Look, there's no reason to get into specifics or personalities. I mean,
all right,
it's
all right,
well
so-
known.
so-
People can follow it.
So if I don't,
but
so
one
if you
thing I'm
can't-
not
if
going
you-
to put up with is anyone undermining their efforts.
Right.
It's fine if you don't support them.
So
if you
why?
don't agree
But
because you
why?
don't understand business,
But
I'm
why?
okay with that.
All right. So if we can't answer who, then why? The question is why.
I don't know. I don't know because I look at
See, that's
if
concerning.
I could point if
if
I
we
were
don't
looking
know
at the
why,
partnership,
that's concerning.
yeah. But if I were looking at, I mean, I have my suspicions, but they're suspicions. They're not because I don't know. Maybe you'd be better off having that person sit here and ask them that same question.
In a second,
Well, do it. Let me know how that
tried.
goes. 'cause
We've tried.
Listen,
Let me know who it
I'll,
is.
I'll debate it anytime. Look, I'll debate it anytime.
let me know
anywhere.
who it is.
We've
I
tried.
will debate the benefit of the partnership and BADC anytime, anywhere. Let me know. I'll be there.
You want to
Just let me know.
You
We have a
starting to-
question,
You're
though,
starting to talk like you want to get in the cage up at the Battle and Berry tent.
We have a
Well,
question
I got a while to think about whether I want to get in the cage, don't I?
about we have a question
No,
about Prospect Heights though.
Sure.
Linda Kuchar would like to know: is the land just being purchased from Vecto? Are they putting it? Are they the ones putting up the housing? And because that land is set vacant for so many years, she just wonders why they haven't developed it before.
Well, I mean, as I said, $4.5 million in infrastructure cost
Alone.
I mean, that's daunting for any local developer and even any regional developer. That is a big investment. So Jimmy Fecto was at the meeting at the brainstorming session last week, and so by making these, what we would do is we would create a common interest association. They would actually advance the project.
Okay.
And local builders, for example, if any local builder said, I want to purchase a lot and I want to build a home on it for resale, well, they could do that. And we think that's sort of the better approach because to put all of your eggs into one development basket,
Yep.
I mean, there's only so much capacity within any given company.
Especially with the different kinds of housings that you're saying that we need right now. Everybody has kind of their niche
And
Yeah.
people may have their favorite builder. You know,
Right.
They may
Right.
say, "Hey, my brother-in-law is a builder in Massachusetts, but he'll come up, he'll come up for 8 months and build me a home." Well, great, you can purchase a lot. The main thing that we want to do is make sure that as the lots are sold, a dwelling unit or units are placed on the lot.
I may have missed this, but when
But
is
yes, the land. The current plan is that the land would be purchased from the Fectos, and then the project advanced. But they would certainly, like I said, Jimmy showed a great deal of interest in developing some residential units on the resulting lots.
I may have missed this, but during the brainstormer, when are they hoping that this could be completed by?
Well, we're putting the, we went through some of our drop dead dates, and we've got, we've got about 30 days to pull our application together and get that submitted. So we'll be doing that in the next 30 days or so. And, that's huge. And if we're successful, this is a project that has been permitted before.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, rules have changed. Stormwater rules have changed, and a lot of things have changed. So the permitting is going to take some time. JD, you know me, I'm aggressive. I look at it and I'm like, look, if we go like hell, we could be fully permitted by the fall. And you could start earthwork, granted, we're looking for some snow now, but, with weather patterns changing, it used to be October 31st, we had to be out of,
right, that was
demobilized and out of there.
Yep.
And now, we've poured concrete in December now.
Yeah.
So
a few people hopping on here asking precisely where, again, that are just joining the conversation a little bit late. So
yeah, and I'm horrible.
Prospect
I'm horrible
Heights.
so to access it, you would actually access it, I believe it is Palmisano Plaza. Is that
it's up in the Countryway development. It's on the backside of Countryway and at the top of
you
Jake
go to
Street.
top of Berlin Street to the Four Corners, and the Countryway development is right there. That's how you would access the development. And then if you drive up in the country, like I said, having lived here so long, I'm great with landmarks. I'm horrible with street names.
Yeah.
I can take you anywhere, but I can't tell you what street it is. Turn next to the yellow house.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and get up there. But that would be the access. The access would not be off of Prospect Street. Even
Okay.
though, yes.
I wondered
the name,
about that.
Prospect Heights would beg otherwise, and I'm not even sure how that name got. I think it was actually BADC who came up with the name because, like I said, unlike the name, it's not. It's pretty cool when you get up there. There are some good views.
Where do you live? Prospect Heights.
Darling.
It sounds a little hoity-toity, Tom. I'm just saying.
Well, we're Barry. We're just a hoity-toity community
No,
here.
yes, yes. Yes, for sure.
Wow. What? Anything else last night?
Yeah, so we not really. It was kind of so I got the agenda here. It was kind of a light, we did approve, but a lot of it goes under the consent agenda. And,
Yep.
you read your materials, but we did approve potential legislation on extending our TIF district. We talked a little bit
The
about
tax.
that.
Hold on. Tax income
Increments financing district, which is
financing.
here in our downtown. So we did the TIF district. I know it sounds boring, but it's important because the purpose of the TIF district, what it allows the municipality. So let's say someone comes along and they say, look, I want to build an apartment building in the downtown.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I need an extension of the city's sewer line. I need bigger water lines. I need to have you straighten out your municipal parking.
Yep.
What the city can do is we can use the increment, because keep in mind, somebody builds a $10 million apartment building.
Sure.
You're going to recognize an increase in tax revenue.
Of course.
What the TIF district allows municipalities to do is keep some of that money. So the money that would normally go away
Yep.
and go, for example, to the education fund,
Yep.
we can actually keep a percentage of that and use that to fund any municipal improvements to support development. So
Why
it's
can't
not
anyone else-
uncomplex.
Why can't anyone else put it in layman's terms like that?
Well, they can. I mean, if you ask most people, I think they understand it.
Cody
I mean,
Morrison
keep
was
in
pretty
mind,
good at doing that.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the TIF district was passed. The city of Barrie, the voters approved the TIF district during my watch. A number of years ago.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So
We
I
talked about
had
it
to
a
know
lot.
this stuff inside and out, and what I saw coming, Keisha Ram, even though you would not think necessarily that Keisha and I are likely allies, Keisha is a wonderful family friend. And expecting, by the way, her and Jacob.
Wow.
We couldn't be happier for them. I was texting her the other day, how you doing, how you feeling? And obviously, sometimes we're very different politically, but we can always talk about things. And sometimes we get together, we'll have dinner, Karen and I will have dinner with her and Jacob. And one of the things we started talking about during some of our conversations was just COVID and how COVID, we had this TIF district here in Barrie. We had things kind of moving in the right direction. COVID hits, everything grinds to a halt.
Slam. Yep.
And all of a sudden, then the supply chain goes haywire. Then construction costs go through the roof. And so one day during those conversations, I looked at her, I said, Keisha, I feel like we lost 2 years. And got thinking about it, and I said, well, you're likely going to chair this committee in the Senate. Would you consider a 2-year extension on Barrie's TIF district? Because I feel like we lost 2 years because of COVID. And so she agreed to a placeholder and some language, and Peter Anthony has been on the House side promoting this as well. So he's been kind of carrying that torch. Thank you, Peter, on the House side of things. So we're in a good place. I think we're in a place where we can get this done and get a 2-year extension, because one of the things, and I apologize, I didn't explain, TIF districts have a limited life. So the state says, yes, you can keep some of that money, but you have to complete the projects by this date.
Okay.
And our limited life was right around the corner.
Wow.
And as I've explained to many people, there were those who were a little skeptical. And what I explained to them is that project, you wouldn't think it, but projects like City Place, that project happened in the blink of an eye. So I've had some people say, whoa, what's on the horizon? What's going to get built in downtown? I don't know. I don't know, because the current environment hasn't supported a lot of conversation because of the construction costs and the supply chain and COVID. But now we're back on track. So what I've explained to them is that most people don't understand that opportunities present themselves in the blink of an eye. And if you're not ready to act and take advantage, you lose those opportunities. I've seen it happen before here in Barrie, where you get some folks who kind of push you off course, and before you know it, it just takes a little bit of shove, from someone, and all of a sudden the project is off course and you lose the opportunity. So, as I explained, and I showed them with City Place, literally that project came together in 6 months. So without this 2-year opportunity, the one thing I do know, without the 2-year extension, we're not going to have any opportunities. That'll just be the end of it. And I think if we work hard, I think if we approach developers, I think if we all pull in the same direction, I think we can see a meaningful and impactful housing project here in the downtown. And you know me, JD, I'm all about the downtowns. Yeah. I've been saying it for 15 years. You want a downtown to be vibrant, put people there. Have them live there.
Yeah.
They'll support the restaurants, they'll support the bars, because I've seen it. I'm Miranda's little groupie. So I followed Miranda to Washington, and you'd think Washington, D.C., huge city, she must be all over the place. No. People stay in their neighborhood. When you go to Washington, D.C., and then she moved to Denver, people tend to stay in their neighborhood. Yeah. And in their neighborhood, which is about the size of our downtown, they'll have a lot of housing, and they'll have all these restaurants and bars and yoga studios and little markets. And everyone sort of stays, kind of like the boroughs in New York, where you stay in your neighborhood. Yeah. And that's always been my vision for the downtown, is 250 units of housing in different locations, not one huge skyscraper.
We've talked about that many times.
Yeah.
And it could be the coolest thing ever. It could support, folks who are single and they want a little bit of nightlife. Folks who are aging. Yeah. And they want to age in place, but maybe they can't drive anymore. Right. So they live in a downtown where, with a very short walk, they can go grocery shopping. They can go get a sandwich. They can go buy a newspaper. They can come on aired out.
Yeah,
and say, "Get off my lawn, kids!"
But it's also it's also our locale here being so close to the interstate, especially Prospect Heights. My God, we're right on the artery here.
So
we hop on and
I get fired up over this stuff.
I know you
can
do.
see.
Well, I know.
But that's a good thing. We need somebody to be fired up about these things.
When you talk about possibilities, I do get excited. I do get excited about possibilities, because I know I've seen it, guys. When we all just drop our petty crap, and we all pull in the same direction, great things happen. And we've seen it with our Main Street. We've seen it with City Place. We've seen it with the Blanchard Block, that if you support people but it's got to be true support. It can't be one thing in the council chambers and then undermining people the rest of the week. You can't do that. And so that's why I'm so supportive, of the partnership, because I can point at their successes and say, these are organizations that deserve our support. And if BADC says, look, people look at the $50,000 marketing campaign that they rolled out just before the pandemic, unfortunately. But, people still talk to me about, not people in Barrie, people from outside of Barrie tell me I've seen that. They'll meet someone and they'll say, hey, 3 weeks ago, so Karen and I were actually in one of those videos at the Reynolds house. We were supposed to be the people enjoying ourselves. No, it's stage stuff. And the person said, you were in that video. And I'm like, yeah, I was mayor too. Oh, you were? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm serious. But you know what? It made me feel good because I'm like, good. Who gives a crap if they knew I was mayor?
Yeah.
Right.
What made me feel
saw the
good is
video.
it's like, okay, look, that marketing campaign reached someone.
Sure.
And it reaches a lot more people, than we think.
Than you
So
think, Sure.
Look, I trust their judgment because I can point at their successes, whether it's the partnership. These are organizations that are absolutely integral to our future success.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
So,
Agreed.
stuff.
yeah. How we doing on time here?
You tell us.
So what else you got going on?
Well, I wanted to ask you if you have time. Has Carl Rinker lost his damn mind?
Carl?
Have you seen him
When did he
lately?
find
He
it?
looks like a goddamn
His
werewolf.
hat.
He's
His hat.
walking around here. He's got this beard. He looks like he's been living in Alaska off
His
the
hat
grid
with
for
the
the last.
built-in spiked hair.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
looks
don't
like he's
judge
lost
a
his
book by
damn
its
mind.
cover.
I think
Tom,
it's
look
adorable.
at the man.
I think it's adorable.
Where?
It's funny.
Where is he?
He's everywhere, Tom. He's everywhere. He said to me yesterday, I saw him on the sidewalk. He says, "I'm everywhere.
Well, he
I
is.
I listen to every podcast. Don't you think you can pass something
well,
by
he
me?"
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was out here mapping out the art splash.
Well, yeah, the art splash. Yeah,
With
he
his
called me
clipboard.
this week. There was a little art splash wrinkle. So apparently, so Miranda, she did when they did the cats. She was home at Christmas time, and she painted this cat, Van Gogh.
Yes,
Because she's big fan. Miranda was an art history minor in college. Loves. She had an Italian world studies major, Italian minor, and art history minor. But she loves art, and she's an incredible artist. So we bought a cat, and she painted Van Gogh, and she painted a Starry Night on. That was the thing.
That was
And
so
so-
cool. I remember that
Yeah,
one.
so when they did, they had the art splash planning for it. Carl sent a packet, said, here are the available statues. And I sent it out to Miranda, and there were bears, and there were dogs, and there were more cats. And so immediately she texts me back, and she's like, I want the pig. I'm like, you want the pig? And she said, yes, I'll do Pig Casso.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
I'm like,
know
okay,
what?
sweetie, whatever. Well, unfortunately, again, supply chain stuff. It was delayed. So literally I was going to have to ship this pig out to Denver, have her paint it, and then somehow get it back to me intact. But we were going to figure it out. It's only a 31-hour drive. I could even go get it. But anyway, Carl called me last week, and he's like, Tom, I forgot to order the pig. Even though, we paid for it. And he's like, Tom, it's all on it. And it's like, Carl, it's okay. Things happen. But get me the damn pig. So I don't know if he's going to be able to or not. So I don't know if Miranda will be in the art splash or not this year. We'll see.
We have some really exciting things to look forward to this summer here in
we
Barrie.
just have a great city.
always do.
And it all
Don't let this
it all
snowstorm
fits.
come
I
and
mean,
get
Carl
you
is
down.
on the BADC board. Of
course.
We all just got to pull in the same direction, JD.
Yeah.
We've just got to stop the silly shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm really, one thing I'm thankful for, I'm hearing a little bit of noise. I mean, I can't say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this current campaign season a 10. Because, there have been some personal attacks. And I don't care where you sit on the political spectrum. It's not cool. So, but I have to say, I'd probably give it an 8. I'd give it an 8. It hasn't been horrible.
No.
You know. Well, I mean, no, but I don't go to the Berry Values page. I'm not worthy. So I can't. Well, no, I tried to
Tom,
be.
they would not let me in.
No, I'm not. Apparently, I'm not pure as the driven snow, so I'm not.
No way.
I'm not allowed in.
No way.
But I got news for you. I got the content. I'm just waiting for the right time to release it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Will it be?
I will at the right time.
Will it be self-published?
Can you do it here with me, because I've like really, you know, I've said little things, but I'm very much biting my tongue.
There are some good people in that group, but there's some.
There are
some of the stuff. It's awful, and you know, when you're a part of it, it's you know. Like I said, I actually asked for admittance and I was turned down. But I wouldn't want to be a member of it now. It would be like joining the Klan. I wouldn't do it.
I agree.
I just wouldn't. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
I agree.
Some of the things that I've seen there, you know, look, you know, we're all different, but with family, and there's just places where you got to draw the line. You know, there's that line of decency, and I'm not saying that I am as pure as the driven snow. Probably in my younger years.
Oh, you mean you have faults like the majority of
well,
us?
I got like here my book of faults here, but I don't expect that from community leaders. No. I don't, you know, and I try. Like I told them, I've kind of stayed out of it, and I told the council that early, that you know, no, it's in terms of, you know, endorsements and direct support. I mean, I have this love for Michael Booten. That's beyond politics. I've always enjoyed Michael, and you know, I make no secret about that. But it doesn't need to be a war. You know, believe me, we have enough things to do. We need everybody pulling in the same direction. We need everybody's efforts. So
right, and if you really have value, let's hear it.
Yeah,
let's
and
hear
there
your
are people,
values.
you know, like I just said with Keisha and I mean, we can have a conversation. There are some things we don't talk about. We can't.
Right.
Because she believes in it and I don't. So we avoid that. But, you know, when it comes to other things like housing and some of the housing initiatives, and she has done a great job to get rid of some of the barriers that are keeping municipalities and more densely populated areas from affecting meaningful housing development. You know, she did a great job on that. So I've been quietly working behind the scenes and calling people and saying, hey, can you please support this? But when it comes, for example, to the, you know, the Affordable Heating Act, I mean, she knows how I feel about that.
Sorry.
You know, she's a supporter. I'm not.
But
we're putting the cart before the horse.
Usually
so
people
guess what?
Usually people know right where you stand on something because you don't sugarcoat anything.
And people know right where she stands on something. But let me tell you something. She became a very close friend when I was in the State House years ago. My God, over 15 years ago. And someone went after her. And they went after her in a way that was just disrespectful because they didn't agree with her politically. Right. And I jumped all over their shit. You know, and I didn't really, I knew her, but didn't really know her. She was a friend of Gwen's. But I won't have it. If anybody attacks her, you know, sadly, her dad is not with her. And if somebody attacks her, I will defend her like her own dad would. If they attack her personally. If they want to attack her on the facts, on the issues, well, that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. And Karen will be the one
not
pushing
on a
me towards it,
personal-
saying,
yeah.
did you hear what they just said? Go get them. So I get a free pass on that. You know, it just doesn't need to be personal, JD. If you don't agree with someone on the issues or for a stand they take, then just let them know.
You can still
but
have
bring your
respect.
facts. Don't bring a personal attack. It's not cool.
With all your free time that you have these days, Tom, you should go back and listen to yesterday's podcast. Paul Brody was on here saying the same thing that you're saying now in a different way, but the same thing.
It's different than it was
it's very
10 years
different.
ago.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I believe in the good in people. And I've seen it, even folks that I serve with on the council, and I've had some great conversations. And when we have those conversations, I find out that many of them are as disappointed as I am.
Yeah.
In terms of the tone of things and how
Sure.
how it's gotten. Because at the end of the day, JD, we all got to work together.
Yeah.
We're too small a community, and we have too many problems.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
You're gonna
And then lastly, I got to mention something because
Yeah.
I just haven't been able. So, Rick DeAngelis, his son Gabriel, was attacked in Montpelier, was stabbed, and I can't get that out of my head. I've been emailing Rick and just offering my support.
we posted the story on our page
just
here.
Tragic. So I just reached out to Rick and said, we've been praying. I said, there's better Christians than I am out there. You don't have to walk far to find them, but I pray every day. I just say a quick prayer every day. And I said, Rick, I've been remembering you and your son and your family in my prayers. And so I just hope people have the, if you have the opportunity, just, reach out and offer some support. And, JD, I never, as we think about the warming shelters, sometimes I'll be very candid. I think about, we're going to incur property damage. Are people going to be verbally abusive, to someone? Are they going to be loud? And you think of all these things. I never considered the safety of the workers. I didn't think we had to. So now that was sort of the last thing that I offered Rick and said, as we think about these things, I think about resources. I think about, I never thought about personal safety. And I guess now we have to. But I'm so thankful. It sounds like his son is, obviously there's going to be some healing, but he's going to be okay. And, so thankful for that, that he's going to be okay. But obviously, there's got to be a little bit of change in terms of our conversation.
Has the world lost its mind?
No, no, we lost our way a little bit,
And respect.
and we can get it back.
We forgot how to
We
be
all do it.
respectful.
It's just, I guess, a lot of things, and but I have faith. I believe in people. I believe in the good in people. So, yeah. All right, listen. Hey. Ribbon cutting up at Quality Market in 15 minutes.
Oh, can you tell us about the new owners?
Well, can tell you she's an accountant. Yeah, and so her and her partner have purchased the Graniteville store, now Quality Market. I'm hoping they keep buying and buying and buying,
That's
and
great.
maybe start some new neighborhood. I mean, just smart people with a ton of energy and a ton of community spirit. Young, exactly the type of people we should be supporting. And, years ago, I got my first job at Quality Market as a stock boy. So it's a location that's near and dear to my heart.
It's been around a little bit.
Yeah, Mike
30
Zyder and
years.
Doug Williamson. Yeah, 40 years. Holy cow.
How many years?
How many
30.
years ago? Well, let's see. I'm 60. So I was 15, 40. Wait, is that 45? Wow. 45 years ago. The Times Argus is like a nickel.
My God.
And the only milk around was Booth Brothers Dairy.
Michael Deering is saying that he's over there.
They're now waiting.
They're over there waiting.
They're now waiting.
Yeah.
Don't let them start without. No, I just pull a Yui on Main Street. It's a quarter of a
That's what
mile
I
up
do,
the
too.
road.
Illegally?
No, it's not
Illegally?
illegal.
To pull a Yui?
No.
That's illegal.
No, I don't
No, it's
believe
not.
it.
Lowstown's doing illegal things.
It's
Wait a
not
minute.
illegal.
Is it illegal to
It's,
pull a...
no, it's not.
Wait, is it double yellow line? I don't think you can pull it. I think if I go down the intersection where there's no double yellow line, I think I'm good there. No, I think that's what it is.
You can do it.
Okay, we need a driver's ed instructor here. Hopefully they're watching. Is it that a Yui is illegal if there's a double yellow line? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as there's nothing coming and you use your directional and are able to map the gas, what the hell?
Final question before you scoot.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to get on the school board?
Am I going to try to get on the school board?
Oh, God.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I had this city so tied up in knots. Remember when I was when I chaired the school board, we built the new school. You want to talk about controversy? They think this budget. It's like hold my beer.
Right.
It's like seriously. Oh no, we had everybody tied up in knots when we closed the neighborhood schools, and that was a good decision, so that children could all get the same educational opportunity no matter where you live.
He's gonna run for mayor next time.
Oh, good Lord!
I'm gonna be his campaign manager.
Just leave it alone.
No.
Leave it alone. You're going to start controversy and start the hating again. We were just talking about
No,
that.
we all
already
love you.
started it, buddy.
But the majority of us love you.
Where the
so
hell
it's
have you
okay.
been? Do you listen to the
and
podcast?
I love everybody right back.
We
So,
talk about how you're
okay.
going to run for mayor all the time.
Okay, so good Lord. So with that, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my week.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Possible governor run?
Possible governor run. What the heck?
For
we
you?
have a governor. We
No,
have the
for
best
you.
governor on the planet.
I agree.
After
After what?
Phil.
Well, Governor
You.
Scott is going to go another 7 terms.
After that, the 7 terms.
After the 7 terms, I'll
Will
tell you what.
Lauzon
so
ever
that will
be
be
the
in 14
governor?
years. Tell you what, you look me up, and we'll run in 14 years.
Okay.
But first, our current governor, who's doing a great
Yes,
job, I'm
he
hoping
is.
he goes another 7 or 8 or 9, 15, 25.
I'm hoping
or
Lauzon
so
will be
terms.
governor one of these days.
No,
Come
he's
on.
better. He's better. He's better. He's an incredible. I'm grateful for his friendship. I'm grateful to just occupy the same planet as Governor Scott.
All right.
Yeah, I hold him in very high regard.
Fair enough.
All right, sir.
Thank you,
Ma'am.
partner.
Have a good day.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
We
See ya.
always know that Thom Lauzon, it's during tax season when he's wearing the jeans. Anyway. Raylene, my God. I want to talk about our community calendar. Obviously, we got some
Yes.
things to get to.
And we are going to get the bulletin board back up and running.
Yes.
We had a little snafu with that. I needed to order a new bulletin board, and like everything else,
Right.
it doesn't ship when it says it's going to ship and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, we'll just talk about it lots, and in the next week,
There will be a big-ass bulletin board in the window. All right. We almost made it to the American Legion Tuesday night meal last night, but we were not able to. We were hoping to, but we actually went to an art exhibit that was done by the school over at the Aldrich Library, and Lily was one of the featured artists, and she was so proud. It was just so cool. It was just amazing to be there last night.
It's nice.
We did that, and then went home and it was one of those. You want a bowl of cereal for dinner nights? Have
Hey,
you ever had those?
sometimes those are the best nights ever. You know what I had last night and the night before and the night before for the last, 5 nights because I only have one left. A raisin English muffin
For dinner?
for dinner. That's what I
Just
had.
one?
Yeah.
I could eat a whole damn package of those. I could eat 2 packages
No, that's what I had.
and still be hungry. Wow.
I had that and a cup of tea while I was
so
doing
good.
the meetings.
Oh, so good. But anyway,
Yeah.
that was going on
Those
last
nights are the
night.
best.
Today's Wednesday. Do we have Wellness Wednesday?
We have Wellness Wednesday tonight, yes. And if you haven't already called to reserve your services, you need to because, I'm sorry that this keeps doing this.
Oh, I think it's my phone.
No, it's not. It's me because my sugar is low.
Are you going to be all right?
I'm going to be fine.
All right.
Yeah, it's 68. We got a ways to go. We're good.
I don't have to do like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the air. or
Over
anything
my
right
dead
now.
body. You better let me die first. Just saying.
All right. So Wellness Wednesday is tonight.
I'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
23 Summer Street.
And there goes Bootin.
Is
Headed
Booten
to
driving by?
Well, he's headed to Quality Market. There's
What-
ribbon cutting
what
at
kinds
Quality
of-
Market.
What kinds of things are at Wellness Wednesday? I know we have acupuncture.
Reiki or Reiki, however you want to say it.
Reiki.
There is the mindfulness, what is it, meditation,
Yes.
and the sound therapy,
Yes. Sound healing.
sound healing. Yeah, all kinds of wonderful things.
And it's all free.
It's all free. You can bring the kids. They can hang out in the amazing Imagination Station Snoozeland room
Love that.
and
Love that.
just relax. I mean, as an adult, you can do that
It's
and
incredible.
relax.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You are going to be, and it starts at 4:00, by the way. It goes
And
till
it goes
7.
till 7. And it's just a time to take a breath
Yeah.
and be well.
Come
That's
in,
what they
have some-
say.
have
Come
some
in
tea.
and be well.
Are they going to have those little ginger chews?
I don't know. I know they're your favorite. Does anybody know that JD has a stash of those because he takes a big handful every time he goes?
Seriously, last time I was there, Heather looked away. I grabbed like 5.
Yeah.
Right in the pocket.
Right in the pocket.
What else? Oh, you're going to hear us talking an awful lot about Bikers for Beth here in the coming weeks.
Yes, as always.
The recipient, Corina Bedell, this is something that is all over Facebook. We're going to be talking about it a lot. Also, want to say tomorrow, Thursday, is Variety Night over. Oh, wait a minute. They canceled that because of the storm. I'm pretty sure they canceled it.
And they also canceled the all veterans meal at the American Legion Post 10. That meal tomorrow night for all veterans meal has been canceled due to weather.
All right. I have on my list here this coming Saturday, the 25th, the Wings over at the VFW.
That has been canceled as well. Yes, we've advertised that as
Yes, we have.
canceled. Not enough participants registered by the 18th.
But Sunday is the Brittany Burt Bingo.
It is the Brittany Burt Bingo.
At the VFW.
Yes.
From 1 to 4.
Yes.
And I'll be there calling the numbers.
Yes.
And brushing the edge of inappropriateness.
Like always. If it was any other way, nobody would know what the hell to do with you.
Well, I gotta take a glance and see how many kids are in the audience. And if
For God's sakes.
there's not a lot of kids.
It's also Ladies' Day today over
That's
at
right.
Vermont Quick Loop.
Vermont Quick Loop.
So, ladies, go over, get your oil change, your service on your car.
Did you?
And
You get a free flower.
you get a flower and a free car wash. You get a flower as a thank you and a free car wash. Yeah.
And you get to see, ladies, the ever so handsome Jacob Roy.
Oh, yes.
You'll see him.
And top-notch service.
Impeccable.
I'm just telling you. And then tonight at the pub in Williamstown, we have Rich Thomas is taking the stage, and it is Dollar Dog Days at the pub. So any kind of dog you can imagine, kraut dog, pulled pork dog, bacon dog, cheese dog. If you can think of a dog, they will make it up, and it's $1. So, and then, as I said, Rich Thomas will be taking the stage from 6 to 9 over at the pub.
Jeez, that's awesome.
So, Dollar Dog Days and free car wash and a flower if you go to the Quick Loop.
Life is good.
Come on.
Life is good.
And then this weekend, the Stephen Tracy Memorial Organization. We've done a lot with Brandy Tracy and over the last 2, maybe 3 years now, in regards to mental health, suicide awareness. They have a bottle drive going on, and they're doing a big event and all the proceeds will go to that. The Stephen Tracy Memorial Fund. So this weekend on Saturday, you can drop the bottles off at the bank, right there where it's the bank and the church right there on the right as you go into Williamstown. And on Sunday, you can drop them off at Beverage Baron.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's freaking
Is it
awesome.
Beverage Baron? Hold on. Let me make sure. Yes, Beverage Baron in Barrie. So, on Sunday, you can drop them at the Beverage Baron, and on Saturday, you can drop them in the bank.
We just got a nice note from Dustin Poitras. Can I just read this?
I would love for you to read it.
It says, JD, you two do a great job bringing topics to people's attention, and we're glad to have you in our downtown.
Well, thank you very much, Dustin.
It's not great.
It is great to
I
hear.
love to hear
We appreciate you.
stuff like that from people watching, listening. And even Chuck Martin.
Yes. Thank you very much.
He's gonna drive for the flower today over at Quick Loop.
We should have Chuck come down here someday and do a little show with us, tell us how it is to work in the school, all that kind of stuff. He can sit over here with me. He'll be all right.
I don't know about that.
Friday is Veggie Van Gogh.
Yes.
So at the BOR, 9 to 10:30, we finally, I think, have convince them that they should let us know about this, and they have, and I've been posting it all week, and that is this Friday from 9 to 10:30 is the veggie bingo at the auditorium. So if you need some fresh veggies, usually there's some dairy involved, a few other things. Make sure you get up there.
Yeah.
And
Free, no questions asked.
Right, free, no questions asked. Just pull in and pick up that stuff that you need. And yeah, it's awesome.
Chuck is saying he wants to sit next to me. What's going on here? What's this all about?
I'm not. I can sit over in the bus.
Why does he want to sit next to me? He wants to get a flower and he wants to sit. What's going on?
Well, hey, you never know. And then Williamstown, this Sunday, the 26th, from 1 to 3, there's the sledding party.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so
I saw that. Where? On Aired Out.
Yeah, so that's going to be at the school in the lower field. I'm not sure the logistics of that, but I'm sure that many people do know. And there's Vin Dog's food truck will be there with hot chocolate and his donuts.
They do a great job too. They're fantastic.
I know.
I saw them over at Wilkins one time. They're amazing.
I know. So those are a few things that I am aware of that are happening. And
Yep.
So
Well, because
let it
I've got one here that you don't have.
maybe.
Most of the time because your head's in your ass. Over at Delicate Decadence, we have a craft night
Brunch.
coming up on the 28th from 6 to 8. Did you know about that? Didn't think so.
No, but let me tell you something that you don't know about Delicate Decadence. You know what today is? National Sticky Bun Day. He made fresh sticky buns this morning, the ones with the candy pecans on the top. Like, oh my God. So guess where I'm like going as soon as I'm out of here. And a great day for it too, because my sugar's only, low and it's dropping as we talk. And so I can go over there.
Seriously?
Get a coffee.
Okay, I'm not joking. I'm going over there too.
I know, like, come on.
I'm going over there with my buddy
And
today.
he's doing a winter brunch this weekend on Sunday.
Really?
Yes. So there's
a ton of stuff
Lent
going on.
and it's all this stuff going on. There's so much stuff happening. Yeah, but it's called a wintry southern brunch. Kind of cool, huh?
All right, yes. The men's semifinals at 7 o'clock. John Sell telling us that, assuming that's Kreitzberg. Oh, look at that. Can you show? Yeah, show that. Oh, my God. Is that what, really? Ooh. That's exactly what I need. A lot of people have been telling me,
I
you
desperately
need to fatten up.
to have-
You're getting a little thin.
Yes,
so
you are, honey.
I should get over there.
You're slimming right down. I'm worried about you.
What are you laughing about?
I'm worried about you.
We have to get Jack. Jack's going to be on with us.
Well, let's say who Jack is. You keep telling people Jack's going to be on.
Well, usually when
does
I hear
anybody
you
know
say,
what Jack? Does anybody know who Jack
when
even
you
is?
say Jack, you always follow it up with the word ass.
Jack in the Box,
And then-
Jack Frost, Jack what? Jack is a student, and he is going to be spending some time with us.
Yes.
Learning. Well, no, teaching us a thing or two about sports while he learns a little bit about broadcasting, podcasting, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Because he's going to be working at ESPN someday.
So
he'll be with us.
we're very glad to have him.
Friday.
Though. That's great to have him.
Friday's going to be on with us. And one of the things I'm going to be asking him about Friday, and I hope Jack's watching and listening this morning, is I'm going to be asking him about Brittany Griner. Because she just inked a 1-year deal with Phoenix Mercury following a 10-month imprisonment in Russia. So look at this. She's in a Russian jail cell one day. Next day, she's back out on the basketball court. Did you hear about this? She's coming back.
I don't pay attention to anything that she does. We've already made that clear before.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about this. And Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, music news.
Do you know what Tom didn't tell you when he was here? Speaking of music news?
Let me finish telling you about Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney.
All right.
They're recording some music for a new Rolling Stones studio album.
All right. But you know what's even better?
Teaming up with the Stones, Raylene. That's freaking huge.
Yeah, I
What?
mean, that is pretty cool.
What's better musically?
No, I'm not saying it's better musically. I'm just saying it's pretty cool. You know, he talked last night, told everybody at roundtable at council that he got like the best seats to go see Springsteen.
Who did?
Thom.
Thom Lauzon
Yes.
is going to see Springsteen?
He is right here in like Mohegan Sun.
Why are you
I'm
telling
jealous.
me this now? Why?
Like, oh my God, I would love to go see Springsteen. Are you kidding?
We got a real problem here.
Why do we have a problem here? What is
Because
wrong
I have
with
told you
Springsteen?
before, on the air countless times that Springsteen, plain out, flat out,
I love him.
sucks.
He does not suck. You suck.
I can sing better than Springsteen.
No, you can't.
The guy sounds like shit. He always has. Sorry, saying how it is. You know,
I would love to go. Just
he's
saying.
too stiff. He looks like he's got a telephone pole shoved in his ass when he's on stage. He doesn't know how to move around. He's too stiff. He's always been like that. He's overworking his vocals.
Tell us how you really feel.
Can't play the
Oh, like
guitar
Carrie
for
Underwood,
shit.
you mean? Overworking. She just screams. I love Bruce Springsteen.
At least she's screaming in tune.
Oh.
Really?
It's a matter of opinion.
You're a Springsteen fan?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have to say born in the USA over and over and over and over and over
Well,
again?
apparently.
God, are there any other freaking words that you could have put into the song, Bruce? My God.
He has more than just that song.
As the words of noted philosopher and world poet Chuck Martin, if it ain't AC/DC, it ain't worth it.
Well, that I can.
Amen.
I mean, that's on a whole nother spectrum.
Of course it is.
I mean,
That's what
AC/DC is, you know, my love of them.
it's your damn ringtone on your
It
phone.
is.
I understand.
Yeah. Back in Black.
And we're going out with that this morning.
All right.
We'll see everybody. Be well.
Have a great day.
God bless. And are we on tomorrow?
And stay tuned because we have a lot of things coming. We didn't even tease it. Like
Oh.
we have a lot. We have some huge things coming up.
News. We got some
Huge
news.
We're going to be doing a very lengthy ad campaign, and
Well, don't say
we're
who.
super excited about it. So stay tuned.
Are we on the air tomorrow morning?
As far as I know,
Who do we have on tomorrow morning? Is it just I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have the
I don't know anymore.
calendar in front of me. How am I supposed to know?
For God's sakes.